I'm Allie. Join me as I show you how to make this grass lily bracelet featuring some IrisDuos, and it's also in our subscription box kit this month. So if you want to check out all of those details, you can go below the video. In the product description, we'll get links back to our website where you can gather up your supplies, or you can check out becoming a subscriber to the kit box. Gather everything up and let's get started. So to get started on the bracelet, we have 15s, 11s, and 8s, all in the same color, along with our IrisDuo, our button that we'll add at the end, and then our 4mm bicones. I'm going to be starting with a size 11 needle, and I have some white size 6 dragon thread. 6 or 8 will work for this. We're going to hold the bottom here, and we're going to do a right angle weave unit. The right angle weave unit is going to consist of 2 of our 11s, 1 8, 1 and 2 11s, and that's going to be followed by a 4mm crystal. Then we're going to repeat the same thing: 1 and 2 11s, 1 8, 1 and 2 11s, and 1 crystal. Those beads are going to drop down to the bottom of your thread. And I'm going to tie this into a loop. I'm not going to worry too much. I want a little bit of extra on the end because we will come back and add the clasp. So make sure to leave yourself a good 10 inches or so and do a nice tight tie. Now, the reason I'm adding like this is because this is the method and the technique that we're going to be adding from now on. You can go in and actually start with your IrisDuos and 8Os, but this way you know how you're doing all of your connector units. The 4mm beads are going to sit on the side. We're going to go up through it. We're going to go through the 2 11s, and we're going to come out the 8 seed bead. As we come out the 8 seed bead here, we are going to grab 6 of our IrisDuos, and we're going to put an 8 seed bead in between each one. As we pick them up, I'm going to make sure that they all face the same direction. This is a good reminder just to check all of your multi-hole beads here to make sure all your holes are open. You can see there I was able to push the little shrapnel that came from the machine out. I'm going to pick up all my IrisDuos facing the same way through the bottom hole, flat side down, going through from the right to the left. And you can see I have 4 and 5 and 6. Now, we put on those 6 IrisDuos along with an 8 in between, and we're going to go back through the 8 that our thread is currently coming out of. That's going to spin it around, and that gets us our first little figure here. We're going to go the whole way around the figure to the other side. So we're going to go through 3 IrisDuos. And I want you also to go through the 8 on the opposite side. Coming out this 8 on the opposite side, go ahead and add 1 and 2 11s and step up into your second hole of your IrisDuo. In between the 3 IrisDuos, add a 15, a 4mm crystal, and a 15. So from IrisDuo number 1 here to IrisDuo number 2. Repeat again, 15, crystal, 15, and sew up through that 3rd IrisDuo. Coming out the 3rd IrisDuo here, we are going to sew down through the 2 seed beads before the 8. So I'm sewing down through these 2 seed beads right before the crystal, and not through the crystal there, just through the seed beads and through the 8. On the opposite side, after the 8, sew up through the 2 11s there, out before the crystal, and then go into the second hole of the IrisDuo. Once again on this side, 4mm bicones, separate out the 3 IrisDuos. Put a 15 between or on either side of the 4mm and into the top. When you get on the side here, you're going to finish out that same look, adding 1 and 2 11-Os. Then you're going to drop your needle down into the 8 seed bead. Sometimes you have to sew kind of on an angle there in order to get it to go through the 8 seed bead correctly. We're going to sew up through the 11s. And now we're going to go around the whole IrisDuo. Going around the whole IrisDuo is the same pattern. 15, 11, 8, 11, 15. You're going to skip over the IrisDuo and the 15, and you're going to go straight into the 4mm crystal. This is also great for a pair of earrings too. You should have enough supplies to make. There you go. Same thing. Going 15, 11, 8, and then downgrading back to the 11 and the 15. Go on over to the next 4mm bicone and sew through. When you're doing that, just make sure you don't go through any of the 15s. Same thing here, going through and doing that cascading effect. And then when you go around here, you're going to go down into the 2 11s, through to the 8, swinging your project around here and circling. So we're sewing the opposite direction. You're going to go up through the 11s as well. Once you come up through those 11s and are out, same thing on this side. You're going in and you're doing 15, 11, 8, 11, 15 over to the 4mm bicone. Once you're over the 4mm bicone, same thing, and pattern of smallest to biggest and back down over to the 4mm, and then one more. Going again, the smallest seed bead to the biggest and back down and over to those 2 seed beads on the end where you started. You're also going to go through the 8-0 that's right after it. And as you go through that 8-0, I also want you then to go through those first 2 11-0 seed beads. When you go through those first 2 11-0 seed beads, bring your needle and thread out before the 15 that's after. Here's where we're going to do that right angle weave section again. Going in, I'll get a couple more of my crystals out here. And then we're on repeat. Really simple over and over again. Coming out those 2 seed beads, add a crystal, 2 11s, 1 8, 2 more 11s, and another crystal. Go back through the 2 seed beads leading up to the 8-0 seed bead in between the IrisDuos there. And that forms our next little connection. Our next connection there, we're going to go back through the 11s after the 8. Back through those. And sometimes here it's a little bit tricky to get in there. It's even worse when I can't bring it up towards me. So I can keep it in the frame for you guys. Out through those 11s, through the crystal, down through the 11s after the crystal, down into the 8 after that connection, and now back to my IrisDuos. I'm going to go in now, make sure my IrisDuos are all facing the same direction. So you're going to make sure that they're all facing flat side down on one side, and then that matches your previous little floral engagement here, that the flat is flat on both unit number 1, 2, 3, and so on. Do you want to get over $100 of premium beads for only $34.99? The new and improved PotomacBeads Treasure Box is a beautiful assortment of high-quality beads featuring both classic and new materials. As a monthly subscriber, you'll save up to 60% off retail prices. Get your Treasure Box subscription today for only $34.99 and $100 worth of beads. Visit PotomacBeads.com/subscribe or click on the link in the description. At the end of the project, once you have as many units as you need, and I have 6, you may need 6 or 7 units, you're going to add 2 11-0s, then your 1 4mm crystal, just like you would be creating another one of your components. Then follow it with 3 11-0 seed beads, and then go into your button. You're going to go into your button through the back side or the rounded bottom of the bowl, up through the top, add 3 11-0 seed beads, come down through the bottom, and then we're going to repeat on this other side here. 1, 2, 3 11s, followed by a crystal, followed by 2 more 11s. Just like you did when you were connecting to get your next component made, you're going to go through those 2 beads leading up to the 8-0 seed bead of your last component. And now we're going to take our needle and thread through here 2 times total. After we're done that, we're going to tie off our thread, and then we're going to flip over to do the loop on the opposite side. Coming back to the starting side after adding the cut button, and if you're between a 6 kind of and 7 units of your piece here, you can always add in one of your IrisDuos here along the side, and then add in some more seed beads just to make a little bit extra length, just in case, again, you need a little bit longer, but not quite a whole nother length. From here, you're going to go back through your beads at the starter side and come out through the 8 seed bead that sits in the middle. Once you're out the 8 seed bead, we're going to make a loop consisting of 11 seed beads for our button to sit inside. So here's where you're just going to go in and pick up, there's 5, 6, 7. This is a good way to clean up your mat. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So I'm going to pick up 25 of my seed beads. If you want it to be just a little bit bigger, you can pick up 26, 27, and actually 28. Perfect count there. From here, you're going to go back through that same 8 seed bead that's at the end, looping around here to create your loop. And now you're going to sew back through all of those beads as well. Just like I did on the other side when adding the button, you always want to reinforce your clasp, making sure that you have more than one thread, preferably 3, through the end of the clasp. Once you have that through, you're going to do like we did on the other side, where you're going back into the project and tying off your thread end. Going through here, push that there. And to tie off my thread end, I'm going to take it back into the project slightly, down here, into my first unit. And what I'm going to do is a sewer's knot. I'm going to make a loop going underneath the bridge thread, the thread that connects the 2 beads together. Then I'm going to take the thread end and I'm going to loop it through there 1 time and 2 times. And mine is short, so I'm going to go in here with my round nose pliers just to show you how I deal with a short thread. And then I can kind of control it. There's 1. And then holding, circling it around. There's my second time through that loop. Pulling that thread then through, right there with my hands. And we are going to do a nice tight pull. Pull that knot right in between our thread ends. Cut that down, and then you can take a thread burner or you can take a lighter and burn that thread edge down. Going in. I've been using a lighter lately. Blowing it out right before it gets to your beads, and then that completes your bracelet look. This could be done in so many varieties of colors, a collection of them as well. I love kind of that white flower look for summer and spring. Thanks so much for joining me in creating this grass lily bracelet. It is a beautiful summer flower, also known as the Star of Bethlehem as well too. It's a pretty white flower that comes up in summer, and you can have yours in your kit subscription box this month. If you're interested in subscribing, go ahead and look below the video in the description to get a link back to our website where you can check out all the subscription details. You can subscribe at any time and cancel at any time as well too. You get 3 kits each month. Remember, if you do need any materials, you can get those on our site as well. Thanks so much for joining, and stay tuned for more inspirational designs.